Hello all, this is the second part of structure lecture. So in this lecture we'll see about type def, then nesting of structures, array of structures, and also about union. So this is the outline of this lecture: type def, then nesting of structures, array of structures, then how to use structures in functions, function call and all. Then also we'll see about union. So type def. So type def, it is a keyword that is used that allows the programmer to create a new data type. So if a programmer want to create a new data type, he can use this type def. So it allows the programmer to create a new data type from an existing data type. So it allows to create a new data type from a existing data type. For example, if we, so this is general syntax for that. So type def existing data type, new data type. So if there is something existing data type like int, and if you want to create a new data type integer, then you can simply declare like this: type def int integer. So afterwards, after using this statement, afterwards inside the program, you can use integer a, comma b, comma c. Then a and b, c, everything will be of int type. So type def keyword can be used like this. So existing data type can be replaced with this new data type. So if I want to replace int with integer, you can use this type def int integer. Now inside the program, you can simply use integer a comma b, then a and b will be of int type. Like this you can use integer a comma b. Now a and b are of integer int type of data. Okay. Then like this also type the float weight. Then afterwards if you want you can declare like this: weight apple comma orange. So apple and orange are of weight type. That means it is of float type. So apple and orange are of float variables. So what you have done is you are renaming or you are creating a new data type called weight from an existing data type float. For that you can use this type def keyword, type def. So structure also you can use the same thing. So type def struct point. So point is not needed here. Even if there is no tag, it is not a problem. So what it does is it will create a new data structure dot of type structure. So it will create a new data type dot of type structure. Okay. Then afterwards you can use like this: dot left comma right. So in the previous case, when you use this tagged type of declaration, what you have to do is you have to use that struct dot like this: struct dot left comma right. That struct keyword can be avoided. You need not use that struct keyword if you are using this kind of declaration. So type def can be used to declare this structure also. Type def struct index int y dot means you can replace this struct with this dot. So simply you can use dot left comma right inside the program. So this is same example. So there is no need for this point in this case. So this way also you can declare type def struct index dot x comma y and a structure variable dot. Now inside the program you can simply use dot left right. Now left and right are of type dot. So dot is actually a structure. So you in the previous declarations what you have seen is you have to use the struct keyword here also, struct dot left comma right, but you can avoid that struct when you use like this type def. Okay. So we will see an example, then you will understand. So this is an example. So you are using type def keyword here. Struct. So fruits is not needed. I am simply using this name. We are not. There is no use of this fruits actually. That tag name is not at all important. You can remove that also. Then we are using three variables inside the structure: big, medium, float, small. Then you are using weight, and inside the main program you can simply use this weight apples. So if you want you can remove this also. I am removing it. Okay. So you are simply using weight apples and you are initializing these values. Three values have been initialized. So in the previous case, if you are using, if you are not using this type def, then you have to use struct like this. So struct weight apples like this you have to use. But you can remove that struct keyword also if you are declaring using type def. Weight apples, then weight pears, then weight mangoes, you are giving some values, then you are printing. Rest is the same. You can print apple like this, percentage 7.2f. You have to print apple dot big, apple dot medium, apple dot small. So all these three values will be printed like that. For pears, for this mangoes, everything will be printed. So if you run this program, all those values will be printed like this. Simply it will be printed apples big, then apples appear small, then mangoes big, medium, all these values. So these are all simple statements. So only difference is when you use this type def, you need not use the struct keyword when you declare variables. Apples, pears, mangoes, and all are variables of type weight. Okay, I'll show one more example. So this is another example. So we are not using any tag here. There is no need for this tag. Type def struct index and dot. So dot is a new type name. So this is the dot. Then afterwards you can use like this dot left comma right. It is not necessary that you should declare outside. You can declare inside the main program also. Now you can simply enter. You are asked to enter some x and y coordinates, and you are entering two values: percentage left dot x, left dot y, then right dot x, right dot y. Then you are printing those values: left dot x, left dot y, right dot x. Everything is being printed. So the advantage is you need not use the struct keyword when you are using. So actually you are renaming or redefining that thing. Okay. So you can enter some values. So if I enter 34, then 45, then 23, this is second coordinate 12. So you have to enter xy, or left xy, left y, left x, left y, then right x, right y. Then after that it will be printed like this. Left xy is like this, right xy is like this. So it is some simple print statement. The rest is the same. Only thing is you can, when you use type def, you need not use a struct keyword. Okay. So that is type def. Next is nesting of structures. So how to nest structures? So within structure you can include another structure. So that is possible. Structure within another structure is known as nesting of structures, because structure is a data type. So any data type can be included inside a structure. So structure is also a data type. So you can include a structure inside a structure. So structure can contain other structures as members also. So only thing is you have to use that dot operator to access those elements. Okay. So we will see this nesting of structures with an example, then you will understand. So this is a struct outer structure. Now I will use some tab here, then you will it will be easier to understand. Okay. So struct. So I am using a name tag here, outer. So this is declaration of the outer structure. So inside that we have an integer type, then we have a float type, then we have a structure also. That structure name is inner. So inside this outer structure we have another structure which have two variables, integer variable and float variable, and we have an invariable type. So this is of inner type, invariable, and we are not declaring any outer variable, and inside the program we are declaring struct outer outware. So we are declaring a structure variable for outer structure. Now you can assign values to this. You know how to assign out1. So what you have to do is out variable dot out1 equal to 2. You are assigning, then out variable dot out2. You can assign some float variable. You are assigning it. Now if I want to assign some value to this in1, so what I have to use? I have to use a dot operator. So out variable is the outer structure. Then in order to access the inner structure variable in1, you have to use invariable dot in1. So that is what we are using here. So out variable dot invariable dot in1. Then you are simply multiplying 2 into out variable dot out1. You can do this operation. Then out variable dot, you have to access invariable 2, then invariable dot in2. So you have to use two double dot operator. That's all. So structure, if you have a structure inside this structure, and if you have another structure inside this, that is also possible. If you want to include an inner structure, that is also possible. Only thing, you will be having 3 dot operation. And if you want to print all those elements, it is possible. So you can print like this. So you can see this outware dot inware dot in1. then out where dot in where dot into. That is the innermost structure variables. Okay. So if you run this program, there won't be another. So you can all those values will be printed. So out 1 equal to out 2 equal to then in 1. This is actually the inner structure. So all those variables can be printed. So in 1, how to print in 1? It is like this: out variable dot in variable dot in 1. Then out variable dot in variable dot into. Then you can do all these manipulations like this. So 2 into out variable dot 2. This is the structure variable. This is another structure variable. So will be a structure variable. This is another structure variable. You can do all those manipulations. So this way you can declare. There is another way to declare this inner structure also. You can simply declare like this also. So struct first, you are declaring something like this. Your structure, we have int and float variable members. Then you are declaring another structure. Second, you are declaring a second structure. We have integer variable, then a float variable, and after that you have a struct variable of type first. So this is first type, and you are giving a name for that in INF. Now this second structure, if I want to access this variable, then what you have to do is inf dot in1. So you can access this variable inside this thing. So if you declare struct second dot out, so you are declaring a variable for second structure outs. Now outs dot out one. So you can simply use access. You are assigning some value outs dot out to this variable. You can assign. Now if I want to assign some values to in1 and in2, you have to use this inf also. So outs dot inf dot in1. You can do the same operation. Then outs dot inf dot in2. You can do some operation like this: outs dot out2 plus 3.65 like that. Then you are simply printing all these values. So it can be brought in the same line. Okay, it is possible. Sorry, outs dot out one. Then you can make it the same line. Sorry. Okay. So even though I have separated into separate lines, it is not necessary. Then you can include the same line. So you are simply printing all these values: outs dot out one, outs dot out two, then the inner structure, that is outs dot inf dot in one, then outs dot inf dot in two. So this way also it is possible. You are declaring it separately and you are including this structure inside this structure. So in the previous example, what you have done is inside the outer structure itself you are declaring all this inner structure. So both ways you can include this nesting. So this way also you can include nesting. Okay. So if you run this program also, you will get the same result like this. You can print all these values. Okay. So that is nesting of structures. Next is array of structures. So like a structure is a data type. Structure is another data type. So all data types can have arrays. So you have already seen integer array, then float array, character array, like that you have seen different arrays. Similarly, you can have structure arrays also, structure arrays. So it is an array of structures. So arrays of structures. So since basic array, basic data types can have arrays, structure variables can have also arrays. So structure variables it will be an array of objects. Okay. So this is an example of that. So the same declaration, only thing when you include the structure variable, you have to specify within square brackets, you have to specify the size. So if you want to have 10 structure variables, simply make it a structure variable of 10. Then you can use structure variable of 0, structure variable of 1, like that you can use 10 variables. So that is known as array of structures. Like int a of 10, then you can use a of 0, a of 1, like that. Similarly, if you are using s of 10, means it is s of 10 is a structure array of structures. So s of 0 will be the first element, first array, sorry, first structure element variable. Then s of 1 will be the second structure element. Okay, we will see an example, then you will understand this. So this is an example. We have include struct point. We have declare a point. We have two variables inside that, two integer x and y. Then inside our main program, we are creating an array of structures. Struct point is array name. Then ARR of 10. So it is a So I'll ARR of 10 is of type structure array. So ARR of 0 means the first element, first structure variable. ARR of 1 is second element. Like that, ARR of 9 will be there. 10 elements will be there. Then if you want to access the array members, you can simply access ARR of 0.x, you are assigning some value. ARR of 0.y, you are assigning some other value. So these two will belong to the first structure variable. Like that, if you want, you can assign other elements also. ARR of 2, if you want to give some value, it is also possible. 2 dot y, if I want to declare only y, you can give some value 23. And if you want to print like this, you can print like this. Okay, if you want to use another print statement like this, you can print it also. So I'll include a slash n here, slash n. You are printing this, so I am going to print ARR of I have included 2, so I will be printing 2.x and 2.y. So I have not given any value for 2.x, so automatically it will take 0. We have already seen it will be taking 0. So I can assign those values. So ARR will be array of structures. So if you run this, you will get some output like the first element, it is 10 and 20 will be printed. And here it will be initialized to 1. Okay, ARR of dot x will be initialized to 1. Since it is array, it will be maybe it will take some garbage value also. So 1 and the second is 23. It will be taken like this. So so it's like this. So array can be initialized like this. So array of structures can be used like this. So only difference is, instead of creating different structure variables like dot, left, right, like that, you can use the same array of structures. So you have 10 element structures. This is 10 structures. It is similar to declaring 10 structure variables. Okay. So this is another example. So struct, we are declaring this boat. Then we have 3 variables here, and you are declaring inside the main program, you are declaring a ticket of 4. Ticket of 4. So you are declaring four element structure. So it is like 4 variables, structure variables. So you have 4 variables. So you can initialize 4 elements. You can have 4 structure elements. So you are to the elements are name, seat number, and fare. Now inside this, when you have to, if you want to initialize, you have to use braces, and within braces, for the first element, you have to include in a brace. So first element, it is name. So this is actually ticket of 0 dot name, then ticket of 0 dot 1, then ticket of 0 dot seat number. Okay, sorry, fare. Ticket of 0 dot fare, and this is ticket of 1 dot name, then this is ticket of 1 dot seat number, then ticket of 1 dot fare. So similarly, you can initialize 4 elements. So I have initialized 4 elements here. Then you can print using a for loop. Like you have printed arrays. This is array of structures. You can print like this. So you are using n equal to 0 and less than or equal to 3. Then you can print all these values. If you want to print all these values, you can print like this. So it will be ticket of the first, when the n becomes 0, it will be ticket of 0 dot name will be printed, ticket of 0 dot seat number, then ticket of 0 dot fare will be printed. After that, when n becomes 1, then ticket of 1. So these 3 elements will be printed. So using for loop, you can print this array of structures. So you can print like this. Okay. So all these things, border, ticket dot number will be printed. Then Vikram, all those values will be printed. Vikram, 1 seat number, and fare will be printed. Then Krishna, all those details will be printed. All those 4. So this loop will be repeated 4 times. The only difference here is the structure name will be like this: ticket of 0, ticket of 1, ticket of 2, like that it should be. Then another thing is, you can have how to call or how to pass these values in functions. So this is a simple example to show this. So you have a structure A. So like any other variables, you can pass a structure variables also when you call this function and all. So this is a structure. then char, integer and float. There are three variables inside this structure. This is the function prototype, and here it is void type. Show is the name of that function, and the variable that is to be passed is a structure variable, struct a. You can, so you have to include this a name also, because if you have too many structures, then you will have different structures. You are declaring only a single structure here. In some other program you may have two or three structures. Then what variable that should be passed? So struct a. So this is the only variable that will be passed. So it is a structure variable of type a. Then in the main program you are declaring a structure variable small a, then you are entering ch in f. All those three values are entered. You are entering in percentage c, percentage d, percentage f, ampersand. All these values will be entered. Now you are calling this function show function, and you are passing this a. So like any other variable, you can simply pass this variable like this, and inside this you have to use like this. So a is of type struct a. So struct a. So this is the data type. So struct a together will be the data type. In the previous case, it will be int. So here you should not use a alone, or you should not use struct alone. You have to use struct a b. Now a's values will be copied to b, and you can simply print this values. So b.ch means it will be actually the value of a.ch. Then b.in will be a.in. So all those values will be printed. So you can enter e, then some value 67, some floating point value can be entered, all these, and it will be, when the show function is called, all these values will be printed like this. Okay, so this way you can pass structures to functions also, structures to function. Okay, so that is array of structures and function. Then we have one more similar data type, or similar derived data type. We call it as union. So it is similar to, it is same as structure. It is same as structure except for memory allocation. The only difference is for memory allocation. So in the case of structure we have already seen. So you will take an example, then you will see. So in the case of structure, if we have three variables, so character ch will require 1 byte, integer will require 4 bytes, and float will require 4 bytes. So 1 plus 4 plus 4, so 9 bytes will be allocated for a variable, 9 bytes. Okay, so in the case of structure, it will be 9 bytes that will be allocated. Now we will see the difference in union. Same as structure, it is except for that memory allocation. So members will share the same storage. So that's the difference. Members will share the same storage in the case of structure. That is, it will be sufficient to hold the largest member. So what it does is, it will allocate the storage such that the largest member in the union can hold the size. So example, if you take an example, so only difference is, instead of struct you have to use the keyword union. The others are same. All the tag, the structure, declaration, or type def, everything can be used as such. Everything what you have studied in structure can be used as such. Only difference, you have to use the keyword union. Then if you have a structure, a union like this, and you are declaring union mixed of, and you are declaring a variable a. Now for a, the how many bytes will be allocated means, you have a character, a double, and integer. So if it was a structure, then it would be 1 plus 4 plus 8 bytes plus 4 bytes, 1 plus 8 plus 4. So it will be 13 bytes in the case of structure. But in the case of union, it will be only 8 bytes that will be used. So largest element. So it will take the largest element. So largest element is double. So double requires 8 bytes. So only 8 bytes will be allocated in the memory. So only 8 bytes will be allocated in the memory. So that is it to hold the largest element. So largest element is double. So double requires 8 bytes. So 8 bytes will be allocated, and at a time only one element will be in the memory. So if it is character, you require only 1 byte. So it will be in 5000. Then after that, if you are using the weight variable, then it 4 bytes. If it is a 32 byte machine, then it will be, you require 4 bytes. So 4 bytes will be allocated for that integer. Then if it is double, then all the 8 bytes will be used. So that is, at a time only one element will be in the memory. That is, if character variable, so a dot letter is accessed, then a dot letter will be in that memory location. Then if you are accessing a dot integer variable, then the 4 bytes a dot int, only that will be in the memory. No other elements will be there in the memory. So the same address space, so the same memory location will be shared by all these elements. So that is the difference between structure and union. So when you go to some interview and all, they will ask what's the difference between structure and union. So structure is same as union except for memory allocation. In the case of memory allocation, in the case of union, it will allocate the memory for the largest element. So that is sufficient to hold the largest element. So if it is double or if it is float, then it will allocate 4 bytes for that float. And all the elements will share the memory. So only one element will be present at a time in the memory. Okay, only char will be present if char a dot letter is accessed. If a dot weight is accessed, then the 8 bytes will be allocated for that. Then a dot number is accessed, that only that integer variable will be accessing the memory. So that is the difference between union and then accessing elements. Everything is same as that of structure. So whatever you have studied in structure can be applied here. Only thing is internally that memory allocation will be different. So if you take this example, we have character array, another character array, another character array, and we have an integer array. So the memory allocated will be 100 bytes because this is the largest element that is to be stored. So 100 bytes will be allocated for this union. So for this book variable, there will be 100 bytes. And book dot title, when it is in memory, only 50 bytes, for the first 50 bytes of that 100 bytes will be given to that book. So you can access the elements like this, book dot author, book dot id, book id, like that you can access. Same, everything is same, except you have to use the keyword union. And the difference is in the case of memory allocation. So all the elements will share the memory location. The largest element, the memory will be allocated to store the largest element. So this is 100 bytes. So 100 bytes will be allocated for this union. So in the case of structure, each and every member will be allocated separately. And in the case of union, only one element will be present at the memory at a time. Okay. So that's all about union. So you can use the same programs, everything can be used. Instead of struct, you have to use that union keyword. That's all. So there are 4 exercises. 3 are actually lab programs and 1 is an extra program. So here, these are all simple programs. You have to read 2 input, each representing the distance between 2 points in the Euclidean space. Store these in structure variables and add those 2 distance values. So you have to add x and y value. Then another, you have to use structure, read and print data of n employees. So you have to use an array of structures. So n, if you want 10 employees, you have to enter number of employees 10. Then based on that for loop, you have already seen, you have to enter the name, employee ID and salary of those. Then store it and simply print all those data. Then this is another program similar to this thing. You have to use array of structures here also. Declare a structure student to store the details. 3 elements are there. Then write a program in C to find the average mark. So if you have entered 5 students marks, then you have to get the average mark obtained by the students in the class for this subject programming in C. So this is actually mark for C is with C programming marks. Then here you have to use array of structures to store the required data. Okay. So if you want, you can enter 50 students data and you have to simply calculate the average of that. So it is simple program only. Then this is an example for union. So it is same as structure. You have to declare a union containing 5 string variables: name, house, name, city name, state, and pin code. So you can give different character arrays for that, each with a length of C size. So everything can be a user defined constant. So C size should be defined by you. It may be 50 or 100, anything. You can define it globally. Then read and display the address of a person who using a variable of the union. So you have to read some variables and you have to print those things. Okay. So actually you have to read only a single person address. So it is a simple program. So these are the 4 programs. So that's all. Thank you.